correlation includes two words. One is co and second is relation. When we talk about co मतलब कि mutual. अच्छा बारी बंद कर इसी चालू से. When we talk about co that means mutual. दो चीजों के बीच में, दो variables के बीच में is called co. And relation मतलब कि relation between two variables. So basically when we talk about correlation means we are going to study the relationship between two variables. Any two variables, if they have the relationship or not, if they have relationship, so is it positive relationship or negative relationship? That is what we are going to study in this correlation. So when we are studying relationship between two variables, there are actually two possibilities. They may have relationship, yes, there is a relationship, or they don't have relationship. Okay, now if two variables have relationship, then there are two possibilities. One is they may have positive relationship and they may have negative relationship. So these are the possibilities. Remember, I am talking about correlation. Okay, so correlation. अच्छा, correlation में मैंने आप लोगों को ये समझाया कि there is a correlation is a study of relationship between two variables. But theoretically देखें तो actually there is a study between two or more variables. दो variables, तीन variables, चार variables भी हो सकते हैं और उनके बीच में क्या relationship है वो study करना. But for BCom point of view, अपने syllabus में there is only two variables which we are going to study. So it is relationship between two variables, that is what we are going to study. So मैं वही बोलने वाला हूँ. But correlation में मतलब दो से ज़्यादा variables भी हो सकते हैं. Okay, positive and negative relationship, या तो फिर दो variables के बीच में कोई relationship नहीं है, ये भी हो सकता है. Positive relationship is actually two friends, the relationship of friends or more than friends, whatever you say. But friends or more than friends वाला जो relationship है, that is positive relationship. यानी कि ये दो फ्रेंड्स है तो हमेशा साथ में रहेंगे. अगर कोई क्लास ज्वाइन करते हैं तो साथ में ज्वाइन करेंगे. अगर कोई कोर्स सिलेक्ट करते हैं तो साथ में कोर्स सिलेक्ट करेंगे. अगर किसी पार्टी में जाते हैं तो साथ में पार्टी में जाएंगे. That means they have positive relationship. जहाँ भी जाएंगे साथ में जाएंगे. And negative correlation मतलब कि relationship of दुश्मनी. यानी कि अच्छा पहली आदत है वो नहीं हो पाएगा. So अगर एक वेरिएबल वहां पे जाता है तो दूसरा वेरिएबल उसके ऑपोजिट ही जाएगा. अच्छा पहले आगे बैठी हूं आगे नहीं बस वो पाछड़ कर. So that is opposite correlation, negative correlation. Theoretically बात करें तो इकोनॉमिक्स में आप लोगों ने पढ़ा है लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई. याद है लॉ ऑफ डिमांड एंड लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई. किसी को याद है क्या व्हाट इज लॉ ऑफ सप्लाई? Very good. When price rises, supply also rises. So positive relationship, price rises, supply rises, and when price decreases, supply also decreases. See, मैंने आपको बोला कि positive relationship मतलब कि दो friends वाला relationship, दोनों जाएंगे जहाँ पे भी जाएंगे साथ में जाएंगे. That's why when price rises, supply उसका friend है, supply भी उसके साथ बढ़ेगा. And when price decreases, supply उसका friend है, supply भी decrease होगा. So they have positive relationship, price and supply. But when we talk about demand, so price and demand have opposite negative relationship. So when price increases, demand contracts. When price decreases, demand expands or increase or rise. Okay? So if you see price and demand have negative relationship. They go always in the opposite of each other. We are not talking about exceptions to the law of demand and exceptions to the law of supply. We are just talking about normal cases where price and supply are positively related. मतलब कि अगर ऊपर जाएंगे तो दोनों ऊपर जाएंगे, अगर नीचे आएंगे तो दोनों नीचे आएंगे. Where price and demand are opposite to each other. That means when price rises, demand decreases. When price decreases, demand increases. So price and demand have opposite and negative relationship. So in this case I have taken two components. For this, two components, which are two components, one is price and second is supply. Where in this case there are two components, one is price and one is demand. If I draw the graph, so supply curve is upward sloping or downward sloping?
Upward rising.
Supply curve is upward rising, where demand curve is downward sloping. Now if you see, तो any point on supply, this is your y-axis, this is your x-axis. Same way, this is y and this is x-axis. So if you plot, if on y-axis it is price and on x-axis this is supply demanded or quantity of supply demanded. Same way on for demand, this is price and this is demand. So if you take any point on the supply curve or the upward rising curve, each point represents two values, two variables. Which two variable? One is price, second is supply. Same way on this curve, it represents two variables. One is price and one is demand. So each point on the curve represents two variables. And actually we are studying the relationship between two variables. Are you getting it? So whenever there is positive relationship, the graph is upward sloping. When there is negative relationship, graph will be downward sloping. Are you clear about it? Yes? Acha, what if two variables don't have any relationship? If two variables don't have any relationship, you cannot draw a straight line. लाइन मतलब कोई एक पैटर्न फॉर्म हो ही नहीं सकती, तो उसमें जो भी डॉट्स होंगे वो सारे स्कैटर्ड होंगे, एक दूसरे के साथ कोई भी रिलेशन नहीं होगा, आगे पीछे डॉट्स होंगे. एंड इन दिस केस यू कैन नॉट ड्रॉ अ लाइन. डिसाइड ही नहीं कर पाते कि ये अपवर्ड स्लोपिंग है या डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग है. यू कैन नॉट डिसाइड. दैट मींस द कोरिलेशन हैव नो रिलेशन विद ईच अदर. Are you guys clear about it?
Yes.
So correlation in between two variables, there can be correlation or there can be no correlation. अच्छा, इसका एक एग्जांपल दूं तो जैसे कि आपका IQ लेवल एंड एक ऑटो रिक्शा वाला है, उसका दिन का रेवेन्यू, तो आपका IQ लेवल बड़ा होगा तो उससे उसका रेवेन्यू में कोई फर्क पड़ेगा? These are two different variables which don't have any relationship. Right? So when we pick two variables which don't have any relation with each other, so that is no correlation. उन दोनों के बीच में, उन दो variables के बीच में कोई भी relationship दिख ही नहीं रहा, so it has no correlation. Are you clear? Yes. So there can be correlation, there can not be correlation between two variables. If there is a relationship, it can be positive correlation or it can be negative. If it is a positive correlation, then the graph will be upward sloping. If there is negative correlation, graph will be downward sloping. Are you clear? Okay. Now we are focusing on positive correlation. We are focusing on positive correlation. Positive correlation में एक ग्राफ हमने देखा which is upward sloping. But upward sloping graph ऐसे भी बनाया जा सकता है. समझ में आ रहा है?
Yes.
तो ये था एक स्ट्रेट लाइन मिल रहा है, यहाँ पे एक से ज्यादा स्ट्रेट लाइंस मिल रही है. तो यहाँ पे जो रेंज है वो रेंज बढ़ रही है, या तो फिर यू कैन से दैट दिस इज द बैंड, दिस इज द रेंज, दैट इज द बैंड. के कोई भी पॉइंट है तो इन दोनों लाइन के बीच में हमें पॉइंट देखने को मिलेगा. थर्ड इज it is still positive correlation. But जो बैंड है, ये बैंड का एरिया जो है वो एरिया और बड़ा हो चुका है. It has increased. So in this case it is called perfect positively correlated. This is perfectly positively correlated because there is only one straight line. If there are more than one straight line but the band is narrowed, so it is called high degree of positive correlation. And if still it is upward sloping but the band is wider, then it is called low degree of positive correlation. Everyone clear? Okay, so if there is one straight line, it is perfectly positively correlated. If it is not straight line but the band is narrowed, then it is high degree of positive correlation. If band is wider, then it is low degree of positive correlation. And the same way we can create this kind of graph for negative correlation also. For negative correlation, because it is negative, so the slope will be downward sloping. So it is downward sloping slope and it is perfectly negatively correlated. Second, it can be downward sloping but there is a band, so it is high degree of negative correlation. And if the band is wider, then it is low degree of negative correlation. समझ में आ रहा है सबको? तो हमने पहले क्या देखा कि कोरिलेशन जो है उसमें कोरिलेशन हो भी सकता है, नहीं भी हो सकता. अगर कोरिलेशन है तो पॉजिटिव हो सकता है या तो फिर नेगेटिव हो सकता है. If it is positive then it is upward sloping, if it is negative then it is downward sloping. If it is positive तो upward sloping में भी तीन तरीके के ग्राफ हो सकते हैं. One is perfect which is straight line. Second is it is still upward sloping but the band is narrowed, and here also it is also upward sloping but the band is wider. So when band is narrow it is called high degree. When band is wider then it is low degree. Same way in negative correlation the slope is downward sloping, but when it is straight line, it is one single straight line, it is perfectly negatively correlated. When it is high degree, so it has a narrow band but still it is downward sloping, so it is high degree of negative correlation. And when band is wider, then it is low degree of negative correlation. Are you guys clear? अच्छा, ये पूरा हमने जो देखा इसमें सारी जगह पे हमने सिर्फ इतना ही जजमेंट पास किया कि ये पॉजिटिव है, नेगेटिव है, हाई डिग्री है, लो डिग्री है या परफेक्ट है. बट इसमें से कहीं पे भी we have seen 7 ग्राफ till now. कौन से 7 ग्राफ देखें तो ये 6 ग्राफ प्लस नो रिलेशन वाला 7 ग्राफ. So we have seen 7 ग्राफ, but out of the 7 ग्राफ कहीं पे भी हमने नंबर यूज नहीं किए. कि जैसे कि इसका नंबर है +1, -1, 0, 0.5, 0.2, but we haven't used numbers because we were talking about correlation. किसकी बात कर रहे थे हम लोग? कोरिलेशन की. So correlation doesn't have numbers. Correlation is qualitative measure. अच्छा, क्वालिटेटिव के अलावा और क्या हो सकता है? क्वांटिटेटिव. बट कोरिलेशन में कहीं पे भी नंबर्स नहीं है. That's why correlation is qualitative measures. Are you clear? Okay, pause करें. Okay. अभी अगर आप ये ग्राफ ध्यान से देखोगे तो हमने सेमेस्टर 1 यूनिट 1 में ग्राफ वाला एक चैप्टर पूरा पढ़ा था. उनमें से कहीं पे भी इस तरीके का ग्राफ नहीं था. वहां पे हम लोग पॉइंट्स प्लॉट करके उसको कनेक्ट करते थे लाइन से. बट यहाँ पे सिर्फ पॉइंट्स बनाकर छोड़ दिया है. दिस इज अनदर टाइप ऑफ ग्राफ व्हिच इज कॉल्ड स्कैटर्ड डायग्राम. And in correlation chapter there are two methods of correlation. One is scatter diagram and second is Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. उसमें पहला मेथड जो है scatter diagram वो आपको यहाँ पे खत्म होता है. This is your first method of scatter diagram. अब बात करते हैं, अच्छा correlation is dash measure, qualitative quantitative. Qualitative अभी हमने देखा. Qualitative यानी कि जहाँ पे आप सिर्फ इतना बोल सकते हो कि दो वेरिएबल्स के बीच में रिलेशनशिप पॉजिटिव है या नेगेटिव है, हाई डिग्री है, लो डिग्री है या परफेक्ट है, दैट्स इट. उससे ज्यादा आप कुछ और डिफाइन नहीं कर सकते. बट व्हाट इफ यू नीड आंसर इन नंबर्स, इफ यू आर कंपेयरिंग टू वेरिएबल्स और उन दोनों वेरिएबल्स में से किसका कोरिलेशन ज्यादा है, तो वो अगर आपको फाइंड करना है तो कैसे फाइंड कर सकते हैं. सो फॉर दैट यू नीड नंबर्स, कि भैया पहले जो दो वेरिएबल्स है उसका नंबर 0.75 है, दूसरे दो वेरिएबल्स है उसका नंबर 0.69 है, तो दूसरे वेरिएबल्स का कोरिलेशन कम है कंपेयर्ड टू फर्स्ट टू वेरिएबल्स. सो दैट काइंड ऑफ कंपैरिजन इज पॉसिबल ओनली इफ यू हैव आंसर्स इन नंबर्स. बट इन दिस केस you cannot compare two diagram, two variables, two set of variables if both the variables are of high degree or both the variables of are low degree. So इतना समझ में आया कि भैया low degree है, but इसमें से किसका डिग्री ज्यादा low है, किसका ज्यादा high है, you cannot compare. So to comparison purpose we have another method and that method is called correlation coefficient. And this method was given by Karl Pearson. So it is called Karl Pearson's correlation coefficient. And इसके लिए लेटर यूज होता है R, small r. ठीक है. So जब आपको दो वेरिएबल्स के बीच में रिलेशनशिप नंबर्स में फाइंड करना है तो विल यूज कार्ल पियर्सन's correlation coefficient. Now we know that there are two types of correlation, one is positive and one is negative. And correlation का आंसर जो है वो हमेशा +1 से -1 के बीच में ही आएगा. इसके ऊपर एमसीक्यू भी आ सकता है. व्हाट इज द रेंज ऑफ कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट? कोरिलेशन कोएफिशिएंट का रेंज है -1 to +1. अच्छा, उसमें बीच में आएगा 0 एंड फ्रॉम दिस यू कैन क्लियरली नो कि जब हम लोग पॉजिटिव कोरिलेशन की बात करते हैं तो ये सारी चीजें इस साइड आएगी, दैट इज 0 to +1, एंड व्हेन वी विल टॉक अबाउट नेगेटिव कोरिलेशन एवरीथिंग विल बी 0 to -1 के बीच में आएगा. जब किसी चीज का कोरिलेशन is equal to -1, so this is perfectly negatively correlation, because this is negative side and this is positive side. So when correlation is -1, it is perfectly negatively correlated. When the answer of correlation is +1, it is perfectly positively correlated. And when the answer is 0, it has no correlation. Are you guys clear about this?
Yes.
Okay. Now if you focus on the area of -1 to 0, तो उसको भी दो पार्ट में डिवाइड किया जा सकता है बाय -0.5, एंड 0 to +1 को दो पार्ट में डिवाइड किया जा सकता है +0.5 से. So if you focus on the area of -1 to -0.5, this area is high degree of negative correlation. Same way, if you focus on the area of +0.5 to +1, it is high degree of positive correlation. Same way, the area of -0.5 to 0, but actually greater than less than 0, this is the area of low degree, and greater than 0 till +0.5 is low degree of पॉजिटिव कोरिलेशन। समझ में आ रहा है सबको? यस, राइट। चलो ध्यान दो, साइलेंस, ध्यान दो। अगर r का आंसर, you have to answer me, if your r's answer is -1, it is perfectly negatively correlated. If your r's answer is +1, it is called perfectly positively correlated. If your r's answer is greater than -1 till -0.5, it is high degree of positive negative correlation. If your r's answer is less than 1 till +0.5, it is called high degree of positive correlation. If your r's answer is greater than -0.5 and less than 0, it is called low degree of negative correlation. If your r's answer is greater than 0, less than +0.5, it is called low degree of positive correlation. And if your r's answer is 0, it is no correlation. अच्छा, इसका अगर आप ग्राफ ड्रॉ करो तो हमने ऑलरेडी वो ग्राफ देखे हैं। यहाँ पे रफ में, मतलब नॉट परफेक्टली बट छोटे छोटे ग्राफ में बना रहा हूँ। इट इज परफेक्टली नेगेटिव, दैट इज डाउनवर्ड स्लोपिंग। इफ इट इज हाई डिग्री, देन देयर विल बी 3 lines of negative. If it is low degree, then more lines will be there, but all will be downward sloping. If it is no correlation, so there is no set pattern of this graph. If it is low degree of positive correlation, so there will be many lines, all of them are upward sloping. If there is high degree of positive correlation, there will be few lines of upward sloping, and if there is perfectly positively correlation, it is only one line which is upward sloping. आपने ये चीज ऑलरेडी बनाई है। यहाँ पे आपको लिखना है r is equal to +1, r is equal to +0.5 is greater than, okay, we'll write it, +0.5 is less than r is less than +1, and 0 is less than r is less than +0.5. Here r is equal to -1, -0.5 is less than r is less than -1, -0.5, and -0.5 is less than r is less than 0. Just stop it.